Hello, welcome back to All for United WSC. We're 2 days away. Who can wait for this one? I cannot wait. I've been talking about this all week on various platforms. I feel like all I've done this week is talk about this game on Sunday. But look at this. We've got Alex and we've got Barry to talk all through things on Sunday. So, get your thoughts and get your comments in. How's everyone feeling ahead of the game? And nerves starting to build yet? Is anyone pretty confident of the win come Sunday? As I say, it's a big one. We said on Monday's show it was a bit more negative. We just lost Liverpool. It wasn't a great show, but I don't care about any of that today. We're not going to get into any of the skinnering out stuff. None of that. Just full focus on getting the cup won this weekend. Obviously, Alex is going to try and tell us how Spurs are going to win it on Sunday and offer the balance that we need on these shows as well. But firstly, we're going to start with the news, obviously, with Nikita Parris that came out of nowhere yesterday from David Ornstein, that she did turn down a move to the NWSL, a £1 million offer over 3 years. So a lot of money she's turned down to stay at United for the main reason she didn't want to miss the cup final, which, in my opinion, fair play to her because she could have quite easily taken that money and moved over there. So Barry, I'll just start with yourself in terms of the fact that this deal did collapse. Obviously, and it was Paris's decision. It seemed like the clubs were pretty happy to let that deal happen. But Keith said no. She wants to stay for the cup final.
I mean, it's massive, really, isn't it? As a statement. It is very interesting. Last season, we were all sat here worried about whether Honor was going to go, whether Leslie was going to go. And we didn't feel so confident. I think this season we have had reasons to be a little bit more confident, a little bit more happy in terms of our players. You think of the likes of Maya Letitia signing a brand new contract, and now obviously the news that Nikita Parris wanted to stay and help us to win the FA Cup. And let's be honest, that's massive. It really, really is. It's a big thing for the club. It's a big thing for her as a player, considering the way some people had written her off prior to her coming to United. I think it's a really big thing that she has chosen to stay. And like you say, turning down £1 million, that's quite something. That's, not it's not a small amount of money, is it? So, and it's not like players are incredibly well played at WSL level. So I think it's absolutely amazing and a bit of a statement, really, as to the togetherness of the girls still within the squad.
No, 100%. And like NT's just put their fair play to my estimation has risen even higher than it already was. Yeah, exactly what my thoughts. I mean, Alex, I don't know whether you've got any kind of thoughts on this. The fact that, me personally, I think she probably will end up still going. I think Courage will maybe go back for her when the window reopens on the 1st of August for the NWSL. So, if it does reopen, I think there will still be a possibility she does still go. But the fact that she's gone, I'm turning this money down, and it says in the article, the main reason was because she didn't want to miss the cup final. She wanted to see the season out with United.
I mean, the main thing you want with players, whatever level, is to be fighting for the badge. It doesn't really say much more than fighting for the badge and turning down a huge offer to play in, your biggest game of the season, the one that saves your season. That's what you want as fans. She's delivered it. Now she's just got to, deliver it on the pitch. But she's one of the players that can do that, and fair play to her for turning it down.
100%. I think most of the fan base reacted pretty much the same. I think, as Sean said, there does essentially want to say final conversion. I don't think it confirms it, but I do think there's, like, as I said, I just think Courage will go back for her when the window. It makes sense. They wanted her. Sounds like she wanted to go there, but and United wanted the deal as well, but she just didn't want to miss the end of the season, which is fair enough.
And what a contrast as well from last season, when, if you remember, she did an interview where she had the temerity, the absolute devastating decision to say that she'd like to play at Anfield at some point in her career. And the absolute pelters that she took because she dared to want to play at Liverpool's ground. And it's a complete contrast in terms of how people are reacting to this one. And so it should be. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
No, agreed on that one. And yeah, what a little fight we have in Keith. Now she's got to start, or at least play, because she said she couldn't wait to play in the final. It'll be really harsh if she doesn't play at all now. I don't think she'll care. Well, she probably would care, but I think as long as we win, I think she'll be all right. Kerry obviously has asked about Welsh's start. I'll come back to that when we come back to lineups and things like that. There was a comment. I've just brought this one on screen. Is this your nickname, Alex? So, this is definitely not about me and Barry.
I'm actually quite confused how it came out because that was my nickname at school. Obviously, that's years ago. So yeah, maybe let's not keep it around. But it's not. I've had worse nicknames.
And Marcus was asking me, what did you break this time? I'm assuming this was about the 15-minute delay to the stream. So the reason why we delayed, if people haven't seen our Twitter, so myself and Jess were on Stretford Paddock this week. We went there on Wednesday, filmed the preview ahead of the final. That has gone out literally at 7 o'clock, which is why we pushed this show back 15 minutes so people could go and watch that and then come over here live onto this channel as well. So if you haven't already seen that, watch us for the next 45 minutes, then hop over there. Oh, are we back? What happened there?
You're back. Oh, I thought I was going to have to kick you out again then, Connor, so you could go and sort yourself out. We were all a bit worried.
Well, me and Alex went on my screen then, but you carried on.
I always carry on. You know me.
I don't know what happened there. Alex, did you go on, or was that just me?
Yeah, for first I thought it was my Wi-Fi, but I think it was both of us at the same time.
StreamYard is so weird at the moment. I don't know what's
going on. Exciting, just me carrying on. It was nearly a monologue. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, highlight and fair play to Paddock. If there is anyone from Paddock watching this for allowing us, that's the third time we've gone on there now. Myself and Jess, they're all very open to talking about the women's game. Going into next season, you might see some more of that because they are very much behind, doing stuff with the women's team, and obviously it's a much bigger platform than what we have here. So, yeah, we really appreciate being given those opportunities on that one. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine?
Honestly. And apparently, if I was a one-man band, Simon, I'd still be better than Queen, according to this lad. So
probably would be. Oh, that's coming around on Sunday, isn't it? By the way, for people who don't know, obviously, I guess the bet or the thing I said, obviously, I'm going to sing.
Oh, it's gone again. This is going to be an incredibly entertaining feed.
Have I frozen again? What's going on here? Am I back again now? Did I?
Yeah, that was just you that time.
Oh, my life. What is going on? I might have to reset something. I think it's my laptop again. What did I say? What did I get to?
You didn't get very far. It's just talking about the one-man band and going to Wembley and the bet.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, very quickly, Mia and Jess are going to sing Queen with me, so it's not just going to be me singing Queen should we win on that one. And Barry's also there, so he's going to film it all. So everyone...
I've got to film it, mate. Make sure you fulfill it. And then don't forget, we've got to take you to a nice place that does a nice greasy burger and get that all down. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Indeed. So yes, that's going to be so much fun. Right, anyway, I'm just going to ask the questions now because it seems like I'm just freezing every few seconds. Barry, how are you feeling? I guess is the question. Are you confident, nervous, 2 days away now? What's your kind of feeling going into this one?
Well, in terms of how I'm feeling generally, awful. I felt sick all day. That's nothing to do with the football. As far as the football goes, no, I'm not nervous. I think I'll be more nervous on Sunday. I'm not nervous yet. At the moment, it's just excitement. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good day. Whatever happens, it's going to be an opportunity to go and see a club that I love at the National Stadium in an FA Cup final. And obviously, my biggest hope is that we will come home with a trophy. And I think that's what I'm most nervous about. I mean, we spoke about this on the Women's Football channel that we have last week. Earlier this week, sorry. And, it's one of those, I do think United go into this as the slight favourites, just based on how we've been over the course of the last couple of seasons. Even this season, I still feel like we've just about got the edge. Obviously, we had a 2-2 draw in the league. We had a 4-0 win in the league. And those two things, I think, sort of give you just about the edge. But it's going to be tricky. And that's the thing, because Spurs are by no means a million miles away from us. They are doing incredibly well. And although they may not have Grace Clinton, they've got Martha Thomas, who I am sure is absolutely itching to try and score a goal against us in an FA Cup final, because, let's be honest, she'd love to try and prove to Mark Skinner that, you know, he should have kept her and that she should have been on the leading the line for United. So it's going to be genuinely an absolute humdinger. I can't wait. It's got all of that within there. And I think over the last 5 years, 100%, this is our best chance of winning a trophy since we went up from the Championship. And I think all of that is where you then start to feel a little bit sick, because you just think to yourself, it'd be a very Man United thing to do, to go to Wembley and lose to Spurs. So it's one of those where I'm really hopeful, but also a little bit scared that it's all going to go Pete Tong. And Wembley is a lovely place to go when you win. It's a god-awful place to go when you lose. And I think that's the big thing. And one of us sat here today, either Alex or myself, in terms of that. No, not the host, because you've been on neutral right now. But, like, genuinely, one of us is going to be absolutely gutted. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're going to go to Alex now. But for you, Al, if you were to go and lose, obviously you'd be disappointed. But is there a part of you? I'm taking over from Connor here, just in case he freezes. But is there a part of you that thinks, if you were to walk away having lost, that actually the achievement for you was just making the final? Or do you go into the match thinking, actually, this is something we could and probably should win?
I think whatever happens, there will be pride. Like, no one thought Spurs would get to the final. I definitely didn't think we would, especially when we were 2-0 down to Sheffield United. So whatever happens, it will be a great day out for me, for everyone there. So there is that, but obviously it's Spurs. I've never seen Spurs win a trophy. The last time we did was 2008. I was 4.5 probably. I don't remember that. So obviously, if you lose the final, you're going to be disappointed. And yeah, I don't really want to think about it. But I've never seen the team lose at Wembley. Through Spurs' years at Wembley, England matches, and playoff finals with my local side. So hopefully,
neither have I. So one of us is getting one of us is getting mugged off here.
You weren't meant to say that. Now my record's in tatters. But yeah, hopefully on the right end. But whatever happens, it'll be a good day.
No, for sure. I dropped out halfway through that on that one. So I'm going to quickly rush the question for the next one. I agree with that. I'm kind of like, I don't know where I feel. I'm really nervous because I'm like, I want to see us win it so bad. And because we're the favourites this year, like last year felt like a bit like a free hit. It's like, yeah, it's Chelsea. We've never beaten them. It'd be amazing if we do. This season's like, there's an expectation that United are going to win it. And that's the difference this year on that one. Karen was asking where everyone's sat. A lot of us, we're all in block 111. So you'll see myself, Barry, Jess, Mia, Andrew, like, you know, all the people you see on this channel, we're all in block 111. Charlie as well. How can I forget Charlie? Sorry, Charlie, if you're watching this back.
She's right next to me. Lucky Charlie.
So yes, we're all there. There was another question as well. Hang on. I've lost it now. I can't remember. I'll come back to that one. But no, that's what I was going to ask you in terms of like how the Spurs fans are feeling going into this. Because I said United fans are probably, I would say, you know, like I said, there's nerves there. There is, you know, it's a cup final. The majority are expecting United to win this. Is that the feeling amongst Spurs fans? Are you confident, like, you know, that Spurs are going to get over the line, or is there that kind of like free hit attitude that maybe United fans had last year?
I think it's hard to say. I don't think our fans expect Spurs to win. Because on paper, obviously, your team is far better. But I wouldn't say we're not confident. We haven't lost since the middle of March. Obviously, I think it helped that we drew to you lot, 3 weeks ago. I think that helped kind of confidence. But yeah, I wouldn't say we're going in as favourites. I don't think anyone thinks that. I think a lot of people are just kind of happy that we're there, happy that we get to play at Wembley. And and whatever happens, it's maybe a Spursy mentality, but if you go in with the attitude that we're not favourites and we probably won't win, if you lose, you're not that disappointed. If you win, you're even happier. So maybe it is just a Spursy attitude to have, but yeah, I think most are probably in the boat of we're not favourites, but there's a right to be somewhat confident. It's a mixed boat, I would say.
No, I think that's fair enough. There's a lot of people in the chat saying they're in block 111 as well. This is going to be quite a little party going on in that block, over there on that one. I think I've already asked this to you, Barry, on a different kind of show in terms of, what this would mean, I guess, is the question in terms of, how big, this is. We spoke about this on the Paddock show that me and Jess did in terms of, obviously, the season from a league point of view has been relatively poor in comparison to where we thought we might be this season. But, in terms of how big this trophy is, because, we kind of said on there, this, whatever happens, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, if we win on Sunday, this will always be the first. 2020 will go down in United women's history as the first time we won that major trophy. So do you think, the importance of it and, how much it would mean to the team on that one?
I think it can't be understated just how big it would be. I mean, I really don't think it can be. I know that you said you don't want to go into the Skinner in, Skinner out thing, but it does come into it because there are people who will suggest that even if United win, then Mark Skinner still shouldn't be in charge next season. And I think that clouds a lot of what the achievement is. I think for me personally, it's almost everything. The fact that, as you said, you never forget your first, do you? Your first everything, like your first Big Mac. For you, you're never going to forget your first burger eaten with your hands. That's going to be an amazing thing. Or the first time you sang a Queen song and enjoyed it. All of these things will be remembered in years to come. And I think that's the thing, is that if you win it, it's huge. It's like you say, it's the first major trophy. And, I've been on this channel now a couple of years and I've spoken a lot about how actually in terms of women's football, we're just a child, we're a toddler. We're only 5, 6 years old. We're not even close to being in a situation where we can claim to be the giants of the women's game in the manner that the men's team do. And I think for me, that's the big thing, is that it's the first one. And you never know when your next one's going to be, as the men's team is showing us at the moment as well. So you just never know. And you've got to enjoy these moments. And I think, the whole Mark Skinner thing does need to be parked as best as possible on Sunday. I fear that it could get worse if we don't win, quite drastically, which would be very interesting. I think the show on Monday would be, it'll be an interesting one if we haven't won it. But I think if we have won it, it's got the potential to go on all night, because it really is just an absolute party. And it should be, because for us as a club, it's huge. And I know that, I'm talking about it as if we're absolutely going to win it, but that's what you asked. That's what it means. If we can win that, then 100% we are sat there in a positive situation with our first massive trophy. And that is just, you can't get any better than that, Connor. It's huge. You look at the names that have won the FA Cup over the years, and then we would be one of those. And that would be just everything. It really would be.
I think that's where I'm at as well with this. I think that's why, the semi-final win, that was the first time we'd ever beaten Chelsea, and, what a moment that was. I agree with you. Monday's show, should we win, I warn you all in the comments now, that is going to be long. That is probably going to be one of our longest ever shows. I think, should we win on Monday. Because, I want all of you that's in the comments, I want you on screen talking about the game. If you can, obviously. Because it's, I've spoke about this so much this week, and that's all I can picture is just us kind of, I guess, winning. And I guess, Alex, from your point of view, from a Spurs side, I imagine that's what Spurs fans are thinking of, that that moment, because it's not just history from United. If Spurs go on and win it as well, it's history for for Spurs as well. Do you think that's going to, I guess, play on the mindset a little bit? The fact that, you know, there's a piece of history there, not just for United, but for Spurs as well.
Right, so I'm back. Technical issues, Wi-Fi. What have I missed?
Oh, did you miss the question? Okay.
Yeah, so I was literally about to leave to rejoin because it just fully froze. So yeah, I missed the entire question.
Right, I was talking about the fact that obviously it's history for United. You know, should United win it, and you know, talking about obviously it would be our first major trophy and that kind of thing, but also for Spurs, you know, it's a first major trophy, first time winning the FA Cup. Do you think that will weigh on the mindset a little bit? The fact that it's not just history for United, the fact that it's history for Spurs potentially as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because obviously for a lot of the squad, it's first time. Obviously for Spurs, it's the first time in a cup final, and that pressure could get to them. I think there's also probably a bit of concern with Spurs is Man United are, I would probably say, going to be at the top of the women's game for years to come. You showed it last season that you've got the potential. Spurs have never shown the talent that they can consistently fight with the big teams. This season they have obviously beat Arsenal, beat City, played really well against Chelsea and drew with you. But it's not been proven yet. So I think there's probably a bit of concern that, great, we're at the final now, but can you now consistently make the finals in 3-4 years' time? So that would be a concern. But I think they've shown this season they can play under pressure. The bigger matches at the main stadium, beat Arsenal, beat Leicester, even in the away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, it was a big attendance. It's probably one of the better performances of the season. So yeah, it could be a weird one, but I'm hoping they don't feel the pressure too much, unlike probably you did slightly last year.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think last year, obviously, United were fighting for the title as well as the FA Cup, so it was almost like a one on the cup. But if we lost the cup final, we still had the league to go for as well. Obviously, that went down to the final day. So I guess, Barry, the question from me, I have started some of your comments, by the way. I'm going to come back to some of those in just a second. But Barry, from a United point of view, what do you think we could have learned from last year? Is it solely the fact that the team are not going to want to lose again because they've had that feeling already of losing in a final, literally 12 months on? But do you think there's anything else we could have took from that defeat last year that we can take into this one?
Well, I think a lot of it is experience, isn't it? When you go into a final and you've lost one, nobody wants to feel that again. Especially when you consider how close it was with Chelsea. It wasn't like we got battered on that day. It was a very close match and one that potentially we could have done a little bit better in. If Leah Galton's goal hadn't been offside, then it could be a different game altogether. And I think that's the big thing they'll learn is that, like you say, it's that feeling, 100%. The feeling of losing is never good. You hate it. It's bad enough at the best of times. But like I said, Wembley's one of those horrible places, really, because as I said, you go there and if you win, it's the best day out of your life. It's absolutely brilliant. But the minute you lose, it's atrocious. It's 100% the worst place in the world. You can't wait to get away from there quick enough. But of course, you can't get away from there quick enough because there's traffic everywhere or the tubes are quite hard to get in. When you've won, you don't care. You love it. You're just wandering through quite nicely and it's no drama for you. But when you've lost, it's horrific. And I think for the players as well, it's the same thing. They have to see the other team celebrating. And we said it about the league as well, with Chelsea celebrating at Kings Meadow and what us having to watch them lift the trophy. It was horrific. We didn't enjoy that. And I think that these are the experiences that the players need to remember. And, there's a lot of them that would have felt that. Mary Earps would have felt it, especially. And I think that, like I said, we've got a lot of players who've gone through that dark space of losing at Wembley, and they won't want that again. And I think, as I said before, that there is not a better chance for Manchester United than this weekend. It doesn't get much more winnable because you would expect to be playing City, Arsenal, Chelsea. And the fact that there's going to be a brand new winner of the Women's FA Cup. I mean, that's brilliant for the game, but it's also just brilliant for us. So, yeah, really hoping, and I think that's what they'll learn, is just don't do it again, because it feels absolutely terrible.
No, for sure. I mean, I feel for Kerry. We've done both cup finals last year. Obviously, lost them both, and the World Cup final, and obviously England lost that as well in Sydney. Don't think. No, surely not. Fourth time lucky for you, hopefully, on that one. Alex, question for you. Highlands kind of put it there. Neither side of particularly good form since the semi-final. United have 1-1, drew 1, obviously draw to Spurs and lost to Liverpool. We've spoken on this channel that, maybe there was just one eye on the cup and the league kind of form kind of dropped off because, the players were potentially had one eye on Wembley. Spurs since the semi-final drew all 3. Is there a potential, do you think, from a Spurs side that they would kind of, I guess, one eye on the on Wembley because the league, not really fighting for anything too much there?
I wouldn't say so. Not similar to United. The 3 matches obviously against you, home to Brighton, and then away to Everton. The Brighton and Everton matches were a bit unlucky. Brighton, they conceded early on, I think, and then played pretty well, just couldn't score an equaliser until near the end. Everton, the first 15 minutes was dreadful, conceded 2 really sloppy goals. But then after that, they absolutely dominated and probably should have won. It was only because Brosnan made countless incredible saves that it didn't win. I think that probably comes a bit down from Williham's kind of like attitude. He takes every game so seriously, so even though we haven't won them, he's still taken them like as an important part of the season. It's just that the performances haven't quite clicked in the final third, but apart from that, midfield's been working, defence has been working for most of it. I don't think it's necessarily taking the eye off, just purely it's been a few of those performances where you can't quite win.
No, I think that's fair. Just while we're on talking about obviously the manager Robert Wilhelm there, are you surprised just because it came out today? It's just literally just sprung to mind. I wasn't even going to ask you this. He's not been nominated for the WSL manager of the season. Are you surprised by that a little bit? So is Matt Beard, Emma Hayes, and Gareth Taylor are the 3 managers in there? I agree with 2 out of the 3, but for me, I think Robert should be in there. Do you? I'm assuming you agree with that from a Spurs side.
I think the best 2 managers this season, if you take away the conventional view of who's top of the table, it's Matt Beard and Wilhelm. You'd probably have to say Beard gets it if Spurs don't win the cup final. But you look at Wilhelm, he came in for a team that was so nearly relegated last season. The only reason they weren't relegated was because of Beth England. He's then completely changed the style of play, brought in several new players, implemented them into the system, got players that weren't playing well last season completely ticking over. And the attitude, the belief, the kind of whole morale around the squad is so much better that now Spurs are looking at going, right, how can we get to the top of the women's game instead of just taking part in the WSL? Obviously, that comes a bit from the board as well, but I still think it's been underestimated about just how well Wilhelm has done this season. Maybe just because there's been a slip off in results second half of the season. We've got 18 points from the first 11. It won't be that many second half, but the performances, if anything, got better. It's just been more unlucky. If we do win on Sunday, I will be shouting the Wilhelm Manager of the Year vote. Unfortunately, the league didn't listen to me there. So
I think it's purely because of how well Liverpool have done the league. Obviously, they likely will finish 4th now. I think if it wasn't for Liverpool, Wilhelm would be 100%. I mean, to me, he should be in those conversations anyway. But I think because of what Matt Beard's done at Liverpool, taking them pretty close to 3rd as well. They're not just finishing 4th away. They're not going to finish too far off Arsenal in the end. On that one, to me, Matt Beard should win it anyway, just because I think what he's done at Liverpool, you look at Liverpool last season compared to this season, and they've managed to beat most of the top teams this season. I think they've got one of the best records against the top 5. To me, Matt Beard should be all over that one in winning that. I don't know. This is going off on a whole other tangent, but I just don't agree with teams that win the league. They automatically get manager and player of the season just because they've won the league, and it's well, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not massively sold on the player of the season nominees either. I'm glad to see Turland in there, as people know, massive Turland fan, but I'm not so sure on on some of the others. Grace Clinton's in there though, so yeah, we'll claim that as a United award if she wins it. She'll come back to us with a player of the season if she wins that. But yeah, I agree, Mike. I think if City do win the league, Taylor will get it. On that one, that's what I mean. Like when Pep wins it in the Mets, City should win the league. Like they have got the best team in the men's game. Like so, it's not exactly a massive thing. I don't know. We'll come back to things like that, I'm sure. Ian was talking when I asked about the question about what we learned last year. Obviously, our big players have experienced some experience in the World Cup. I'm really hoping it makes them fight for Sunday. I think when we look back at the semi-final, the fight we showed in that. Me and Kara said this on the radio yesterday that we can hold out teams. We held out Chelsea for 45 plus 8 minutes in that second half, so we can do it. I did say that we've got mistakes in us, but we have got that grit in us to get over the line on that one. Right, before I come back to you, Alex, with another question. This earlier on from Kerry was talking about her keeps talking the podcast. That sounds so exciting and enthusiastic for the final. Will she start? So Barry, I'll just start with the front line only. Who do you want to see and who do you think he will go for in the front line? Because as we said in the semi-final, it was a completely different front three, one that we've not seen. It's kind of changed in the league, in the last kind of couple of weeks. But as we've said, like throughout this week, this is going to be a different game to the semi-final. We're going to have a lot more of the ball than we did in the semi-final. So would that affect your decision making? Where do you stand on the front three this weekend?
If I was picking the team, I suppose you'd give Apps the nod, wouldn't you? Because she's played all season. It's got to be Blundell, Millie Mayer, and Jade. Needs to start right back. We need that balance. It's very important. Zell starting, Toon starting. You're then down to who's the other midfielder. I don't see any reason why Nelson shouldn't start. So I think I would probably pick her. The front three is the tricky one. I do think Keats needs to start. I do think that's the right and fair thing to do. She's our top goal scorer. And it seems a bit mad if she doesn't play. So I think I would have Keats starting. I'd quite like Melvine to start, but I'm not convinced she will. I think we'll be looking at Galton and Garcia, potentially, with Parris through the middle.
Yeah, see, I don't agree. I think that's what he will go for, but it's not what I would.
Well, tell us, what would you like, Connor?
I'm
Other than a bit more grill cream.
Two of my players are nailed. I think Galton and Jace, I think, should start. I think I'm torn on who I'd go for as the 9. Because I think the reason why I say Jace off the right, I don't think, like I said, we're going to have a lot more of the ball. We're going to need players that are going to be able to drive us forward and run at the opposition backline. Because it's not going to be like the Chelsea semi-final where we don't have the ball and we're relying on counter-attacks. It's going to be very much us controlling the possession, I think, and trying to win it that way. So I would start Jason and Galton. I don't think he will. I think you're right. I think it's going to be Garcia and Galton. I think it's going to be Williams or Parris, I think. What I want is Galton, Mallard, Jace. What I think it will be is Galton, Parris, Garcia. Is what I think it will be. I'm not against either, to be fair. Like I said, I know I've just said what I want to see, but if it is the other one, is what it is.
I do think that Jay's coming off the bench would be quite a thing. I think if you're 60 minutes, 65 minutes into a massive game at Wembley and you look over and you see Jay's coming on and you're the left back, I mean, you're not going to be delighted, are you? It's been a hot, sweaty day as it is, and all of a sudden you've got her coming at you. I think that would be quite a thing. Whereas if you've got Garcia coming on, is it quite the same? I don't know. I think you know what you're going to get from Jays, and that could be quite a thing.
See, obviously Mark's saying there about agree with him. I don't think Jay starts. He's more as an impact sub. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think from a Mark Skin point of view, positive times talking about got to start Williams. See, Williams is the one, right? Obviously, she started the semi-final. She did set the tone, as you're saying there. Must have learned this by now, but I don't know. I feel like we'd be better off bringing her off from the bench. As I said, I think it's going to be a different. We're not going to need that direct counter-attack game that we had in the semi-final. I don't think. So I don't think Williams is probably the player you need in it. She'll come on. She always does around the 60th minute. She's always going to come on at some point. But I just don't think we need to start her. I wouldn't personally, but
I don't think she starts in there.
I think she would have more of an impact off the bench on that one. Yeah, I agree. There's a strong case to start her. And I think, like I said, I think that front line is probably the toughest to pick. I think the rest of the team, I think I agree with Barry's back five. I think it's going to be Jade. I think it'll be the usual, the other four. I think it'll be Zellum, Lisa, and two in the midfield. And it's just that front line. I think it's like, which combination is he going to go for? And I'm not sure. I'm not against any of them, to be fair, because I remember when the lineup came out against Chelsea, we were all like, really? Like Williams, Garcia, Galton, and that won us the game. So ultimately, I think I'm not too worried on that one. Mike asked you a question, Alex, in terms of what shape do you think Spurs will line up with? I guess that kind of ties into the lineup, prediction conversation from a Spurs point of view.
Yeah, it'll be 4-2-3-1. I'd imagine so it'll be England up front, Vinberg and Naz on the wings, probably Drew Spencer's a 10 because obviously no Clinton. The midfield duo behind that is probably up for debate. It could be Evelina, it could be Olga, or it could be Kit Graham. He's kind of rotated all three of them this season, so that could depend. And then defence, it lines up for itself. It'll be Spencer in goal, Ashley Neville right back. I'm forgetting now. Amanda Nilsson at left back, and then Molly Bartrip and Luana Bula probably at centre back, but it could be Amy James Turner, of course. A bit of history, but a few weeks ago it was kind of a bit up in the air, but I think the performance against you kind of helped reaffirm what he'll go for on Sunday. So we'll see.
You referenced that game, actually. I'll actually ask you on that game, and obviously Barry, following from a United point of view, obviously the most recent meeting was literally only a couple of weeks ago. The 2-2 draw at I was going to say at Old Trafford, and it wasn't at LSP. Obviously, it was a late equaliser from United, May Letizia. Can we look anything into that game? Because obviously we look back to December, United won 4-0 pretty comfortably in the away game, and then the 2-2 draw. And to be fair, I remember I was there and watching it, and it was United go 1-0 up, and it was a typical United kind of performance after that, very sloppy and backed off. It seemed after that. Can we look anything into that, Barry, do you think? Or do you think that was just a one-off game? It was the game after the semi-final as well, so maybe one eyes were still on that one.
Well, I'm not one who's known to sort of flip between my answers, and I'm pretty sure I said on the review show that you don't have to read too much into it. I think it felt like a little bit of a dead game. It didn't seem right. It didn't seem to have too much. I think we knew it was a dress rehearsal for the final, but equally, I don't think anybody was really going out there trying to show their cards, so to speak. So, no, I don't think so. I think, listen, for Spurs, it was a big confidence boost. Last time they played, lost 4-0. So, draw 2-2 was, infinitely better. They'll be disappointed to win 2-1 up and not to have taken the 3 points home. And one could argue that gives United a little bit more of the confidence going into the game. But it is a worry that we can play these games against Spurs and drop our intensity as much as we did in that game. And I think for me, that is the big thing that we take away from that game, is that we know that if we do not perform to the level that we should do, Spurs are very capable of taking advantage. And that's what I mean when I say that they're not a million miles away from us. Even though we may start as the slight favourites, we can't afford to be lackadaisical about the way that we choose to approach the game, because if we sit back too much and we allow Spurs to come forward and at us, then they're very capable of scoring goals. So I think, we can take a bit from that game, but not a huge amount, no.
No, I tend to agree, and I think it was very much lapses in concentration that led to the 2 Spurs goals. So within 5 minutes of each other, I think it was the 2 Spurs goals at LSV as well. So, before I come back to you, Alex, on that very question, there's a couple of questions re other players. Elizabeth's asking, do we think Garcia will leave? Yes. Do we think we'll use the option for Mallard? Maybe. And I will leave it there. I'll leave that up to your kind of management on that one. There was where was the Fallon one? Because this has just come out, and I've had so many messages in the last half an hour about this, right? The person who's on the article is very reliable. However, I think they may have got this one wrong. I don't believe Fallon's only signed a year. My understanding was it was 3, I think. Don't quote me on that. Don't go tweeting that saying, oh, Connor said 3. But it was I'm pretty confident it wasn't a 1 year. I don't believe we'd have paid a world record fee for a keeper for 1 year on that one. So I'll try and get confirmation, but I don't think that's true. But I do know the article you're on about, because I've been trying to read that as we've been live to see where that's come from. And there was another one. Do you think Jay will play full 90 minutes just coming back from injury? Maybe Mannion sometime. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Mannion. She's fit. She can play. She came off at halftime against Spurs, actually. In that game, I was told that was a tactical reason. So I'm not sure. I don't know why she's been frozen out the team since then. I really don't know. But Reed Jade, I think she's fit enough. I think she'll, if it goes into extra time, we might see her get subbed off, if it goes into that distance. But yeah, I expect Jade to start, play the 90. We might see Mannion if we're defending a 1-goal lead late into the game, and we need a bit more defensive stability. But I think she's fine on that one. That's what I mean. There's just no way I just don't believe that. Where was the other one? That was it. Erling's question to you, Alex, on that one. Is she fit, ready to play, or is she still injured?
I actually forgot about her just after I predicted my lineup. She's fit. She'll probably start if she's fully fit. Maybe for Naz, and then use Naz as a super sub. But she didn't play at the weekend, but yeah, everyone trained this week. So for the first time in a long time, Spurs have a fully fit squad.
Jeez. Something United could only dream of. We've not had a fully fit squad, I think, all season. On that one. I don't think we have, actually. I don't think we've had a full fit squad all season. I think we've always had at least one injury. Obviously, the ACLs, take a majority of the season on that one. We're that's confident. Jeez, we'll come to score predictions in a second. I'm not that confident. If people have watched all the other previews I've done this week, I've changed it 3 times. So I don't know what I'm going to say on this one. I'll go for maybe more of a confident one. I think United's midfielders will bulk up. I mean, they've not got long. They've only got 2 days to bulk up on that one. You're saying defensive. If you mean is set up more defensively, then I don't think we will. I think we'll take the game to Spurs, to be fair. That's the best way. If we try and sit back and play on the counter, I think we get beat. We've got to go out and use the quality of the players that we've got to win the game. She wasn't great, but I don't know. To me, she's played solid at right back, and I just don't know why she's just been just frozen out since then. But there we go. See what I'm saying. We might need to get Ladner involved. Yeah, I hope she plays at some point. Honestly, who knows? Who knows? We'll find out on Sunday about 1:30 what the team is going to be. But I think me and Barry have probably got this pretty spot on with who we've said on this one. I don't have loads more questions, to be fair, because it's weird previewing a game when you've not long played them. Like, it only feels like yesterday, Alex, we had you on a few weeks ago talking about this very game. Obviously, this one's a little bit different with the obviously the occasion and things like that. I do have a question for you, though, because I've had a lot of DMs about this and a lot of people asking about it. I don't even know if you're going to know, and it's completely off the field stuff. Do you know what is going on pre-game at Box Park and all the things around that? Because it was initially everyone, then it was Spurs only. Now they've changed it to it's going to be Spurs themed, but United fans are allowed in. What's going on? Do you know at all? Or
Well, it's cool. They're renaming it for Spurs. It's like Broxbourne Park, I think, to like celebrate where Spurs women came from. Oh, yeah, I haven't really looked much into it because I don't actually have a ticket for that. I'm just there as press. But yeah, I believe anyone can go, can't they? It's just if you want to put up with the Spurs are going to Wembley songs or the what else we are. Our chants aren't very original, so come on, you Spurs. That's always a good chant. So yeah, if you want to be put up with that, go to Box Park. But yeah, I don't know too much.
it is weird. It's been kind of going around social the last few days because it's kind of been It's weird that this has changed the week of the final as well. I know a lot of United fans asked for refunds. They got a lot of refunds, and then Box Park changed their thing, so they are allowing United fans in now. It seems a bit of a mess. What's going on that one? I mean, you, Mike, maybe. Right little troublemaker you are at games. On that one. And you, Ema. Don't know what yours. No, we're all good on that one. It's going to be a good occasion. It is sold out, isn't it? Wembley for Sunday. So there's obviously that to look forward to on that one. I genuinely don't have any more questions on the game. So, Aaron, I don't know whether you've got anything else unless we go to score predictions and look to round this one off.
I suppose it was interesting when you mentioned about Robert Wilhelm being a potential manager of the season candidate. And I don't know if Alex really had the chance to sort of answer on that one. How much of a good job do you think that Wilhelm has done compared to Ryan Skinner last year? In what way has he improved your side?
Well, I think if you want to rate it, if you go for the classic out of 10, Wilhelm's probably done a 9 out of 10. Would completely kind of change the style, change the players, obviously. But I think the most important thing is building that kind of belief. Spurs last season, I hate to say it, and it should be banned by me, but they were so Spursy. They went on that run of however many defeats in a row, and it was like, yeah, it's just not working. I think people underestimate how hard it is to change a whole squad's mentality. Tactics can be done working every single day on the training ground. To generally get a team of 20 players or whatever believe in you within 2-3 months at the start of the season, all the players were, yeah, we believe in him, we agree with his ideas. That takes a lot of skill. And it's the same now. I spoke to 3 of the players last week at the media day. All of them were like, yeah, he's a great guy. They couldn't speak highly of him enough. I don't think anyone at Spurs, any department, could say anything bad about him. And it's just, yeah, installing that belief is brilliant. Yeah, I mean, he's got the players doing yoga now to help with that kind of attitude, which I love. It's the finer details that make a team kind of like push on to the final line.
I was just about to ask you about that because I saw that he put it on Twitter, didn't he? The yoga thing, with all the players doing a bit of that as well. He does just see, like, everyone I speak to around women's football, he just seems like just so well liked by everybody. And yeah, like I'm really envious, to be fair, of the fact Spurs have got him. I think what's going to be interesting, I think, with him is going to be in a year or so's time. I think he's going to have a lot of interest probably around him, whether Spurs can keep hold of him or whether he moves on to maybe a Champions League side or or something like that. Because I think that's probably his next career step, isn't it? When you're looking at him, he's probably looking at maybe I'm trying to think of a team now. A team that's in the Champions League, but maybe not competing in the latter stages of it on that one. And be deserved as well. Not by me. Barry, you going to do it?
I'm not planning on doing that, no. Got to be honest. But I am sure that we can get Marcus if we do win. I'm sure he can get the winning goal and put it to the music. That'll make Charlie a very, very, very happy lady for sure. My last question, Connor, was if United do win, what are you going to have in your burger? You have a bit of bacon? Are you going to get a nice bit of burger sauce, or do you want barbecue sauce, onion rings? What's happening?
Do you know what? I have the most basic as well. Like, I don't like a lot of things because just literally just the beef in the middle and like tomato maybe on top. That's about it. Like, you don't need anything else in it.
Do you know what? You spent your entire life telling me how you deconstruct a burger, and if all it's got is a little bit of meat and a tomato, and that's less of a deconstruction. It's like the saddest thing ever. You know. Red hot sauce, Mike. I like that. Absolutely. No, we can get a bit of that on there. Like, he doesn't even have to eat the whole thing. He just has to have one. No, not a Happy Meal, Marin. He's had that before. Well, can you imagine? You can't stop it now.
I thought you were going to finish off the rest of that line, though.
Well,
or when you're waiting for me to do
it. Obviously.
Absolutely no chance, John. That's one of the worst Queen songs as well. I'm not having that. Do you know what, Phil? I actually don't know. Do you know Alex on this one?
Not whoever wins.
Only if Spurs won.
Ah.
Because she played for Spurs against City and Leicester, I think. Don't hold me on it though. So.
Yes, cheese. I forgot cheese. Yeah, so literally bun, burger, cheese, lettuce or tomato, and that's it. You don't need anything else on it.
To be honest, mate, it's all going to be about the sauce, and it has to be.
Basic burger, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Sauce and the grease, that's what we're after.
Just what's Highland say there? Just make sure you leave out the mayo. Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of mayo on burgers anyway. Mike, you've got my thinking re Skinner and Villa in terms of a potential swap over there. Some players have a Lego club. Yes, some United players. Do you know what? Fair play to United. Have really marketed that well this season with the forward and with Rach, obviously Leah, Saf, and Jess. Fair play to them. I've loved all the videos.
To be fair, what's really good about that Lego club is that it's been built from the ground up.
What mushrooms? That's a good comment. Oh dear. Will she come home with Spurs? I can't lie to you. I don't think she really wants to come back to United. I might be completely wrong, and she really gets on with the United girls as well. But if I'm her, she's had such a good season at Spurs. She gets on really well with the manager down there. She's got a really good group of friends and teammates down there. If I'm her, like, you'd want to go back, wouldn't you? I think. You know, in terms of, because I don't think whether she's going to be guaranteed starting minutes at United. We've already seen us linked to one midfielder. Well, that's the thing. If she could play
for United, then she'd come to United.
I'm not so sure she would, you know.
I think it will be a saga that will go on all summer. That's my prediction. Yeah.
I think
it might become a bit tedious, maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I think a lot's going to depend on which United midfielders are on the way out this summer. You know, people have already referenced it with a link to Denise O'Sullivan this week. You know, she's obviously a midfielder as well, so that would imply that at least somebody's going out, because we don't need another one unless somebody's leaving. Well, we don't need another one anyway. But, you know, if a couple are leaving, then it would make sense to bring another one in. So, yeah, I agree, Hannah. If she's coming back and is going to be starting, I expect 2 midfielders to go this summer anyway. Maybe 3. So I think it just depends on what the plans are for next season in terms of that midfield. On that one. That was the question. Has Wilhelm Spurs already made an offer? I think they will. I think they've made it. I think Wilhelm spoke very highly of Rosie and said that they probably will try and get her this summer anyway. So I think there will be an offer. I don't think they have yet. I don't think that they can't yet, can they? Because the window's not open. So officially they haven't. But I think they will come the summer. Can Spurs afford to buy it? I mean, it's a question for you, Alex. Can they? I don't know what it's going to cost. I don't know what price United have maybe set on it, but
yeah, they can. I think it's a matter of how much the board want to invest in the women's team. At the moment, they seem pretty committed to the whole idea. I think that's kind of what's got William on board so much. He's, from press conferences, sounds like he's kind of been promised investment. So there's no kind of bigger kind of moment to make than signing one of England's most talented midfielders for potentially a league record fee. I'm not sure who it is actually at the moment, but you could imagine Clinton could break it, considering her age and kind of being English.
Well, if I'm United, I'm looking at other transfer fees and asking for at least 300,000-400,000. You know, when you're looking at other players that have gone for similar, I'd be looking for more than that. You know, around that kind of figure, but more.
People talking about Clinton coming back. Let's not forget we've also got Miyazawa, who's back now, and also Emma Watson coming back from injuries. So.
Exactly. That's my point. You know, NT's put that 3 short. That means Clinton will be definitely coming back. I think that's it, though. When you look at the players like Barrick is there with Watson and Miyazawa now back in the fray. You've already got Zell, Lisa, Tooney, lads. You know, there's so many midfielders there that, yeah, as I said, I think just keep an eye on this. It's going to be a busy summer again, I think, to expect on that one. I love it when I hint at transfer things because I instantly get messages off people that are watching along, just like, who are you on about? And that one of the people who's just messaged me 100%. I'm on about them.
Sorry, who? Who's your
well, there's another one, you know. I think, I'll say it when we get to the summer. I just think that she has seen it. I think there will be, I just think there'll be a few on the way out this summer. But we wait and see. This transfer window, trust me when I say there's going to be some absolute bombs dropped this window. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. And not from United point of view as well. I don't get that twisted. I'm not talking about United here. Just keeping on the WSL. Right, should we, Barry, before we go to score predictions, have you got a little something for us? I really hope you have.
Listen, I plan to. But as I said, I wasn't very well this morning. I've really not been good. And I hope to have something written. But what I will do for you all, if you're happy with this, Connor, is that I will write something up and we can put it out on TikTok tomorrow.
I'll settle for that.
And maybe on Twitter too. We'll see.
There we go. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. If people didn't see, obviously, the last one, what we're referring to is Barry did a good little poem before the semi-final, and that obviously got us over the line. So we were hoping there was going to be another one for the final because, that worked last time, and we need to see it again to make sure we get over the line on that one. I love people speculating in the chat, talk about who's potentially leaving and who's not, but... I'll leave it up to you guys to speculate. Anyway, right, score predictions then. Come on, let's see where we're leaning towards. As I said, I still don't know what I'm going to say, which way I'm going to lean. So far this week, to give people a bit of context, I said 2-1 on another podcast. I said 3-1 in extra time on Stretford Paddock, and I said 3-0 in normal time on the radio. So I don't know which way I'm going to lean tonight on this one. So I'll wait to see what these two say, and I'll just kind of pick somewhere else. Who wants to jump on the ledge here?
Okay. You might not like mine. Well, unsurprisingly, I'm going to predict Spurs to win. 2-1. 2-1 Spurs. I think we might take the lead. Actually, no, you'll take the lead. You can have some moment of joy. But I think the Spurs are good at clinging on. And like there'll be like a 75th minute equaliser. And then maybe writing it into the stars, but extra time, Martha Thomas comes on, and maybe like a header from a corner, maybe just a repeat of the semi-final. But yeah, I'm about to be hated in this chat. But 2-1 Spurs, Martha Thomas winner, written in the stars. But it would be great to have like a Neville winner or Naz winner, because they're like Spurs through and through, have been there since the championship days. So there's a lot of good storylines which could happen.
Thomas scores the winner. I'm never going back to Wembley ever again. Like, there's just no. Like, absolutely not. Can't be taking that.
It's possible though, because she'll be a super sub. So you never know.
I think I'm going to go Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 3.
Always gone for what I said on the radio. See, I can see that, because I think the occasion might get to Spurs, but on the same side, I can see it just being really like nervy. Like, that's why I said extra time on Paddock, because I can just see it being like 1-1. It gets to extra time, but then that's when we win it, because obviously we've got potentially better quality to come off the bench, and that might just get us over the line in extra time. But
I just think it's it's one of those games where if we do the right thing, we're going to turn up, and if we turn up and really turn up, I think we are. I think we're going to turn up, and I think we are going to boss it. I do. I think it's going to be the performance of the season, because the fans are owed one. The Chelsea one was good. They can't allow that to peter out. So, yeah, that's what I'm going for.
And I will go for a different score again. I think we will concede. But I'll go for 3-1 again, but I'll say in normal time this time rather than extra time. There was a comment a second ago saying that an Earps masterclass, I think it was Eva that just said it. Potentially, obviously she did play really well in the semi-final, so could see that one as well. Honestly, I don't know. I think it could go either way then.
Mike's asked me for the scorers. I'm going to go for a Katie Zellum penalty, Nikita Parris, and Rachel Williams at the end. That's the fairy tale.
I can definitely see a Zellum penalty. I love how as we've been talking, Alex just been shaking his head. Just like, yeah, that's not.
I've got a back Spurs this time. Didn't last time, too fair.
I can't remember what you said
even
last
on
time.
Two Spurs day. I think I said a United win actually, so I was actually wrong. But yeah, even I'm not so Spursy to predict us to lose a final in the build-up. I'm not that negative.
Yes, Mike, I'm covering all bases. One of them's going to be right, and I really hope so anyway, because if they're wrong, that probably means Spurs have won. Potentially. I just don't know. I'm glad this is the last time. Well, I might do a TikTok live tonight, or well, no, probably won't be tonight. It'll be tomorrow now, because I'm going to Wembley tomorrow, and that'll be the last time I talk about it. And it's just full focus on the final then. If Rachel, she's got to celebrate. Sure, I know she will. It's a final. I can't imagine her being. I know she obviously previous to Spurs, but surely not a Blundell tapping Barry now.
I'm not seeing it, but listen, if it happens, I'll cheer it as if it was an Ellertoon goal from the halfway line. So I don't care how they go in. Off the knee, off the backside, off of Spurs player, I don't care. Just put it in the net. Oh,
I froze a bit there. I'm back.
Again, what time?
Yeah, no, I froze. But Yeah, Jay's masterclass. I really think this is the game for her. I think it's set up perfectly for her. It's a big occasion, big stadium. You know, as I said, we're going to have a lot of the ball. I think this is the game set up for her. So I really, really hope so. Every time her own gods. I would feel sorry for it, to be fair. If it was Thomas, I probably wouldn't, and that sounds really harsh. But Amy Turner, no, she was one of the OG. You know, we can't not having any Amy Turner slander. She can't score an own goal. Honestly, Gemma Evans scores the winner. I think we just pitch invade. Why not? We're not going to, by the way. If there's anyone watching, like Wembley security, don't be like, keep us. We're not going to be pitch invading. But there we are. Right, we shall wrap it up there then. I don't know what else to say. If you see us about on Sunday, come up to us before the game. And if we win, you can come up to us afterwards. If we lose, do not. We're not going to be in the best of mood, potentially. But no, honestly, I hope everyone enjoys the weekend and enjoys, obviously, Sunday. For those of you who go in, sing loud. I think I'm going to put this on Twitter over the weekend. This is, forget all the Skinner in, Skinner out stuff, all the negativity. Sunday is just purely about get behind the team. And let's hopefully, from a United point of view, win the trophy, get over the line, and Monday's show, honestly, will be one of the best you will ever see on this channel. Fingers crossed on that one. Make sure you like the video, subscribe it. If you haven't already, let's go and follow the TikTok as well at All For United WFC. As I said, we did a collaboration with Stretford Paddock earlier on. You can go and watch that. As I said, it's literally about 12 minutes long, so it's a bit more of a shorter one for you to watch. And yeah, make sure you follow Alex as well, because it's as we always get opposition fans on to add the balance to the conversation. You've been brilliant to have on again, Alex, on that one. So yes, hopefully you don't get the result you want on Sunday, but nevertheless, you've been great to have on to talk all things about the football again ahead of this weekend. So yeah, make sure you're following Alex. Obviously, you're covering the game, aren't you? You're in press on Sunday. So
yeah, I'm there. So for the best coverage, follow me.
There we go. Twitter is there as well. And yeah, make sure you're liking the video, subscribing. I can't believe we're saying this. We're going back to Wembley 48 hours, less than 48 hours time. Come on, United. Let's bring the trophy back with us this time. We'll see you guys on Monday.